Well, it's been 8 months. 8 months on this protocol, and this is my first video. I said I was gonna record the process, and I want to vlog this experience moving forward, more so to hold myself accountable. I've tried, and I'm about a little over 9 weeks into working with Mark, so I figured now's the best time to give an update since I haven't been. It's just, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling the recording. I wasn't feeling the editing. I think what I've learned most in this process is to be more present, and that's what I have been doing. I'll give a brief little recap of how these 8 months have been. Let's go. So back in August, I started with Mark. I said I was gonna work with Rania and Bulletproof Minds, and when I had started with her, I was at crunch, I was really stressed, and I think it just wasn't the connection or the guidance that I needed. Flash forward into November, I actually started a shadow work study with another coach on Mark's team, Leah, which was extremely eye-opening and transformative for me. We worked through a lot of the internal work, which is what I really needed and found a lot of value from. So a lot of life changes. I have since moved on and I've been training independently at another gym. Shit, I'm gonna be moving again in June with Jared. Jared and I are engaged, got in an accident, got a new car. There's just been like a lot of moving parts. A little bit of chaos. What else is new? Throughout this process, I think my biggest takeaway has been looking at my own habits. Living in chaos and stress has essentially been my norm. And there was a time in my gut protocol, I kind of started reverting back to old habits without realizing it. My fasted blood glucose and my resting heart rate was going back up. My digestion was kind of getting wonky again. I was having a hard time sleeping because I was like hyper fixating on my resting heart rate. I was just kind of resorting back to not prioritizing my reading, my meditating, my breathing exercises, things that I now realize need to be non-negotiables for me in order to be successful and to see the progress and consistency in my day-to-day life, my biofeedback, in order to feel good inside and out. So that's been essentially my biggest takeaway this whole process. If we look at where I started, my weight started at 152. My resting heart rate was 78, and my digestion was really inconsistent as far as type. My sleep was low, like 6 hours. Within the first few weeks, my weight started dropping. I was down into the high 140s. We were seeing improvement everywhere. I was having 3s for digestion. I was getting 7-8 hours of sleep. My resting heart rate was finally down in the 60s. My fasted blood glucose was improving. So we got down essentially 137. I was fucking cold all the time. The lowest weight I had been since prep. I was hungry. I didn't have my cycle anymore. Now, mind you, because I'm in this gut protocol this whole time, essentially I felt like I was on prep for months. I just ate everything as according to plan. The most adherent I have been in a really, really, really long time. As we came out of the holidays, I started increasing my food. He said, hey, the goal now at this point is to increase body fat, start the repop phase of this gut protocol. So this is when I started with Mark. This is around the end of our kill phase, and then this is where I am as of this week. So we are back up to 145, 147. I have more body fat on me. I also have a fuller look. My cycle is consistent, my digestion is consistent, and I'm performing and progressing in the gym. So we're in a really good place now. He had me on a 4-day split initially, but because the priority has been stress management, I didn't get enough sleep, digestion was off. I had to prioritize my stimulus load. I just wouldn't be training. So he actually dropped me to just a basic 3-day split, a push-pull legs, focusing on training intensely there, managing volume and stimulus. I've been feeling really good lately. So he said, instead of increasing our days in the gym, let's increase our training volume on those 3 days you are in the gym, bump the intensity. So some movements I do have drop sets. We're training to failure, so 0 reps in reserve, which is fucking awesome. So that's really exciting to have back. There was a point, it was a mindfuck seeing how lean I got in the gut protocol, and what I love about Mark is how much he educates. Essentially, he was like, that level of lean that you were was not sustainable. We were killing off all gut bacteria. You weren't absorbing nutrients. You were low body fat, so you didn't have a cycle. It wasn't optimal. So it's kind of like prep in a sense, where we get lean and then those goggles go on and that's all we see, that's our norm. As I started gaining body fat, which I knew was the goal of the next phase that we were in, I was getting uncomfortable again. And I told Mark, I don't know if I want to compete. I don't want to go through this mindfuck of body dysmorphia again. I just want to eat and feel good and train. And I don't know if I want to be tied to my progress measured by my physique. That was really difficult for me coming out of my show, and I think I was finally able to admit that, which was like really emotional because it was almost like an identity that I had to get rid of. And he was like, you don't have to compete. And I work with plenty of athletes that aren't competitors because I think that was part of my fears. What if he didn't want to work with me if I didn't compete? I really want to do athletic things. I miss being an athlete and I really want to try Muay Thai. And he's like, as soon as we get through this phase where we're managing stimulus and training intensity, we can train however you want to train. If you have physique goals, we can train and add it with Muay Thai. We can do those things, and as long as we're managing stimulus, we can program to meet all these goals. So that was kind of the relief I needed. I'm just waiting to get to that point. He just added cardio, so I'm hoping I can swap a cardio day for Muay Thai. So yeah, that's where we're at. 8 months in, some more big things coming up the rest of this year. Summer's gonna be crazy. Jared and I are gonna get married at some point probably next year, and there's just a lot going on, but I'm really happy with where I'm at and where I'm headed and how I'm handling life these days. Thank you guys, as always, for watching. We'll see. I'm not gonna promise any more videos because last time I did that, it took 8 months, but who knows?